Hello, and welcome to the Creatively Geeky Show. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. I've got most of our usual cast back with me tonight. We've got Jen, Chris, and Ray. How are y'all doing?
Hi. It's a great day.
It is a great day for America.
It is a great day for America. We are recording this on Inauguration Day here in the U.S. We did not have an episode last month. Things were just really crazy, especially with it being Christmas, but also just in some cases 2020 just like smacking it, just getting in those last couple of licks before it's on its way out. But it's 2021. We're looking forward, hopefully looking to a lot better things for the future. And just a quick note on this show. We're going to take it a little bit different. We're going to kind of focus more so on what we're working on and what we'd like to work on. And if we get on a major topic, great, but we're not going to necessarily structure it that way. It's going to be just, what are you up to? Do you need help? Do you have ideas? Do you need to bounce ideas off people? Which I was kind of almost more so the original idea for the show. And I guess maybe I just felt like it needed more structure. I don't know. Who knows? But we're moving onward. So
you're stifling our creativity, man.
Shut up. Well, speaking of that, let's go ahead and get to our updates from last time. Yeah, this is gonna be fun for everybody. I have a pretty good, because I'm looking at mine and I'm like, nope. So Ray, you had painting.
Yeah, so I am working on the painting. I actually have paint on paper.
He has taken over the whole dining room.
Yeah, the whole dining room is mine now.
Yep.
And I'm thinking about turning it into a music area as well.
Oh yeah, he just discovered the acoustics.
The acoustics in there are amazing.
We have really high ceilings.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I've got paint to paper. I've done.
I love it.
2 days of it so far. I'm trying to be patient with watercolor because you have to do it in layers and you got to let it dry. And so I'm trying to really be patient with it. And that way, once I get a little bit in, it's like, okay, I'm going to leave it and then come back to it later. So I'm starting to get into the darker shades where it's going to be more fun, where you actually get to see more of it. So more detail. And yeah. So yeah.
You sent a picture to me of the watercolor you're working on. So you said it's I've never, I mean, like I've done watercolor like, in school or whatever for, some, projects here and there, but like I've never done it as an adult. So I don't really know what all is involved with that. I know you're saying you have to, it's a layer and then wait.
Yeah. So to get the detail, like especially if you're going like really detailed, you want to get kind of your basic wash on first, or so your basic colors and blocks in, and then you start going in, let that dry, then you kind of go into your detailed areas and put more detail in that way. There are other techniques that you can use as well. Like you can just do wet on wet, and that's just splash paint everywhere and have fun with it. And it's another technique with watercolor that can be really cool. And I have done that one as well. But this one, I wanted to get some really good detail and some very specific colors in some very specific areas. So to do that, you got to make sure it's dry, because if you don't, you can actually get bleeding in from one color to another. And I didn't want the purple going into the buildings. So
I figured that's what you meant by wet on wet, that it would start bleeding. Because I'm like, if you're putting two wet paints together, they're going to mix, or one's going to bleed into the other one. Yeah. So
I actually want that in different paintings that I've done, right? So I'll do that and use it as a technique. But in this one, I didn't want that yet. I want really very basic colors, and then I might mix some stuff in afterwards. But I wanted to get the basics down first. So
I'm excited because it's my painting, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Oh well, good. So is it? Now I've forgotten. Did he come up with the idea and you're like, oh no, that's staying here, or was it once he started it, you were like, oh no, that's staying here?
No. He told me the idea, and because he's put the night bus in it, I'm like, you can never get rid of that. That is mine now. So I know exactly where it's gonna go. It's gonna go right there on this wall because it's big enough.
You'll see it when it's all
You'll
done.
see it when it's done and framed and stuff. Yeah, there's a couple of times that he's done some things, and I'm like, no, that's for me. And I quickly put it in a frame so he can't undo that decision. So there's 2 paintings he did with coffee that reminded me of sort of what Da Vinci would play around with, just as an exercise.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I never told you that before.
Big shoes, wow.
I'm over here now.
Well, and because when we saw his sketchbooks, it just kind of reaffirmed that, because it was a lot of sepia colors and stuff. Because that was kind of what was available easily at the time in the 1500s. And then he's done a tree ink and watercolor one that I really liked. So that's here, that's hung up. And then the one over there, and then a cliff one he did in oil.
Forgot about that one.
And then he's got a massive painting that I'm staring at right now of a park scene from England, and I don't know where that's going to go, or if it's just going to live there forever now. Not sure.
I don't know. Well, I don't know how I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it at some point probably.
Yeah, but yeah.
If anybody wants to buy it, that's
the problem with that. That's the thing about art, is that you have to have that person that sees it and is willing to spend the money on it.
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool. I follow one of the people. She bought one of my paintings. Well, it was actually her ex bought it for her when they were together.
Yeah.
And every once in a while she'll do like an Instagram story or something, and she'll do it, and I see it in the background. I'm like, oh, there's my painting.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Ray was here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a huge piece. It's like 5 by 3 or something like that. It's massive. It's a big painting.
Yeah. It's not as big as that one, but it's close.
But it's pretty huge. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm putting Eugene to sleep.
I'm sorry. Like it's been a week, so.
He didn't even catch it's really big, or it's pretty big.
No, I did, but I chose to let it go.
I chuckled.
So I knew you would be there to catch it, Jen. Well, let me expand on that. So that was what you said you were going to work on. And you've obviously got some of that done. Have you been doing anything else, like in addition to, or
Diablo 3?
Yes, there you go. A lot of time spent on Diablo 3 with Sean and Mike.
So work, obviously, Diablo 3, and then that's not true. I did contribute to somebody else's project.
Oh yeah, you did the trim for my office.
That's right.
The baseboard.
Yes,
you did do that.
And then, of course, stalking American politics in his free time.
Yes. That's
so entertaining.
Everyone's favorite pastime.
Yeah.
Listen, we don't have inauguration. We literally have, hey, here's your
new prime minister.
New prime minister. Okay, yay!
Here's the keys. Lock up when you're done.
Literally.
Well, you don't take 1,000 flags and put them on the lawn and have bands playing for 6 hours and celebrities and
it's a do. You guys
announcements. Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, we don't have that.
So much pomp and circumstance.
We did not inherit that from England, but you guys did.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yes.
We probably inherited it from England just as a way to be like, look, you're still not our boss.
We can have all this and not have a monarchy.
Exactly.
But it's not a king, yeah.
We want to do what we want to do, Dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go ahead and since you mentioned it, let's go ahead and move to Chris. Chris, you were talking about doing salt dough ornaments.
Oh, did I? I did those with Logan. Actually, Logan helped me. They turned out really well. I talked to my sister about it because she had done it like the year before or whatever. And so I was just asking for tips and, stuff like that. They were really easy to make and they turned out really, really well.
The orange ones are different.
Oh, orange slices suck. I don't know. You need like an actual dehydrator. Sticking them in the oven, people are like, it's so easy and pretty. What they've done is they Photoshop all the grill marks that you're supposed to use with the cookie sheet thing. They Photoshopped those out, all the burnt edges, all the little weird dehydration.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a Pinterest fail.
It was, yes. Yeah, because I went through like 5 or 6 oranges,
Yeah.
and I think I wound up with enough, maybe 10 ornaments out of all of that, because it took forever. You have to do it for like 6 hours.
Wow.
And flip them every 2 hours, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah, it took a long, long time. So I'm not doing that again unless I one day acquire an actual food dehydrator. I'm not doing
Do
that.
they do it in an infrared oven or something? Maybe makes a
Something
difference.
special, because sticking it in a regular oven, I'm guessing maybe if you put like a sugar solution over it or something, but still, I don't
I'm
know.
going to say the dehydrator is the best way to go.
Yeah, because that was crazy. But the salt ornaments, I would totally do again. It was really simple and they turned out really well. I want to do, I think this Christmas, I'd want to do cinnamon ornaments. You can do that. Basically make
Yep.
the same way. The thing is, I wish we would have made the holes bigger because I had ribbon I bought specifically, but Logan she did a really good job, and I didn't even think about it at the time, and I tried to poke the ribbon through. I'm like, no. So we'd use hand, but it still looked good.
So what kind of shapes did you do?
We have a crap ton of cookie cutters I forgot about. So we did an angel, a stocking. We did, what else did we do?
Star.
A star. We did
Tree.
snowman, a tree, and something else. We did 6 different shapes. Yeah, but it was super duper easy.
See, knowing y'all, I would have thought there would have been like a theme. Like it would have been like the different houses in Harry Potter, or
Oh, I'm working on that. See, when we lived in the cottage, I didn't become a full Potterhead.
Race face.
He knows what's about to happen to his life now that we have a bigger house. I couldn't collect anything because our place was so small. So to really dial it back, now that I have a place that's almost triple the size, all the Harry Potter stuff is happening to this place. He got me Harry Potter ornaments for Christmas this year because our neighbor across the street does laser cutting with wood.
Yep.
personal laser cutter, or so
Yeah.
jelly.
Yeah, her fiance bought it for her at the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
So she does wood. She does a lot of personal stuff. Anyways, so she made me 3. So it's happening now that I follow a crap ton of people on Instagram. So I'm asking, like, where did you get that? And they're very Pottergram on Instagram is a very loving community. I love them. It's happening.
Oh, and I know.
Well,
It's your
okay, so
Taking over your life.
so in addition to I've figured out how we're going to flesh out the show.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, I'm going to say this is what you said you were going to work on, and then we're going to add into it. So what else have you been working on? Because
Lucky if I just do what I said I was going to do.
well, mine will probably be like, yeah, I didn't touch that, but I did all this other stuff. Speaking of other stuff, how's your room coming, Chris?
So really well. So there is a small room in the basement that one of the previous owners in their genius built for some reason. I don't know why, but it's
Back in the 70s.
Back in the 70s, because it had Laney approved wood paneling, and it's got a small window in it. So it's a legal bedroom downstairs.
A legal, not illegal.
No,
A legal.
you could actually call it 4 bedrooms if you wanted to. But like Ray can't stand up straight in the room.
No.
So it's just like
it comes about here.
he dents the
Wow.
ceiling when he stands up. It flexes when he stands up straight.
And
I-
hurts my neck.
So it's my room. And I painted the ceiling and the walls, and I took up, there's this weird industrial carpet that was down there that thankfully wasn't glued down. So I just had to roll it up and sweep up all the underpad
Shit.
that had crumbled. And then I put like 3 coats of sealer on the actually really nice subfloor. It was actually really nice, decent plywood that,
From the 70s?
yeah, that because it'd been covered was really well preserved. So I
Yep.
used that. And we had a chair left over that we didn't really have a spot for. So that's down there. And now I'm collecting secondhand furniture to use as office stuff. So I already
You guys are really making up for having a little house for so long.
we are.
You've gone like the other side of the pendulum.
Well, the thing is though, is that we're not over, like, I don't think we've gone to maximalism. I don't think we've gone that far. We've just kind of gotten to a place where we have a little bit of room to breathe and spread out. So we're not buying any more furniture for the house itself, but for like a room down there, all I need is another cabinet and a desk, and that's it. And that's the room's done. So, and probably shelves later on, but
Well, yeah.
I don't have a lot of stuff for that yet.
No.
So, is this your crafting room, your office? Like, how is it being labeled?
Both. It's
her
my
space.
space. I've never had just.
It's a she shed
Oh God.
inside the house.
I hate that. But yes.
My legacy.
Hear that, Carl?
My legacy.
I get a new she shed.
Yeah.
A she or she shed.
Oh my god.
So I've never had a space that's just mine. It's always been like in a shared space. Like I had a writing area, but it was in our kids' playroom.
Yeah.
And I've had that kind of stuff, but never a room that was like dedicated to just my stuff. So it's nice. It's kind of cool. I like it. I spend time down there just like laying on the carpet. Like we had this braided rug carpet. It's a big oval and it's down there too because it gets cold. So I just lay down there sometimes and just stare up at the ceiling. Just like
I've been like in the house. I'm like, where'd Chris go? And you start calling out for her. I can't tell if she's like yelling from inside, outside, or sorry, upstairs or downstairs. I'm like, where are you? Then once in a while she'll answer, I'm somewhere where I don't know where I am. I'm like,
so yeah.
She's downstairs.
I really like it. So I'm excited for it to actually like be fully functional and my hub.
I understand that was actually one of the stipulations about the house we're in. This being my, I podcast from my office. The deal was when decorating the house was she pretty much gets to decide everything outside of those doors, and everything in here is mostly my decision. Some of it still has to kind of pass muster. I can't do anything like super crazy.
Yeah.
But that way, all of the geeky stuff is contained in here, and the rest of it can be a normal house.
Yeah.
Except for that room is right in the front.
Exactly, and it's got glass doors. Like
glass.
Yes, it does.
Right.
So you can see it.
Yep.
Well, that's like Ray's shed because I think that's important that you have your own dedicated space you can do whatever you want with, because we have very different organizing styles and skills. Mm-hmm. So his garage is whatever he needs it to be. I can't walk in.
It's like my brain. It's kind of everywhere.
His brain put into visualization. So that's his space, and he can do whatever he wants and put whatever he wants in there.
But if you need something from in there, I know where it is.
He knows where it is. So then this downstairs,
system.
This downstairs, because everywhere else in the house is a communal decision. We both have to agree on it. But downstairs in that room, it's whatever I want to do. As long as it fits, like logistically, it has to actually fit down there. I can't just some like cockamamie idea. Ray, do this for me. He's like, yeah, physically impossible. Can't do that. Then it's whatever I want.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good deal. Yeah. You know what, Jen? We'll hit you next. You had decorate your door at work.
I did it.
Did that?
You did, and it looked awesome.
Yes, it did.
Everything I chose for last month, though, it was kind of cheating because it was all holiday-specific things that I have no choice, but I did them. Yeah, so Ray had the idea of getting a projector and tracing the picture, which was so much easier than what I was going to do, which was spend hours trying to hand draw it, and redo it 20 times. So it turned out really good, too.
What was it again?
Awesome. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack Skellington.
Yep.
Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Am I there?
You froze up a little bit, but
pencil, of course I did, because I'm talking.
Yeah. We got
Traced
most.
it with pencil and then painted it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it was good.
No, it did come out really good.
Thanks.
So did you?
And I
Did
won.
y'all?
I
I was gonna
won
say,
the
did you win?
contest.
You
did.
did. That's awesome.
Yeah, the coveted. We have a little Christmas tree trophy. So
Aw.
I got it the first year, and I finally got it again for the
Nice.
second time in 6 years. So
Nice.
not to brag, but
Yeah.
Was anyone else
So yeah, I got that
close, or did you kind of like blow everyone out of the water?
I think I blew everyone out because I'm the only one that really promoted it too on Facebook. I like shared it, and people actually, liked it for me. So thank you all. I want to thank everybody that contributed to my win. Couldn't
Yay.
have done it without you.
I like thank God because God is at this Chili's tonight.
Hashtag blessed. Yeah.
Well, have you worked on anything else?
Okay, I was gonna come and say I haven't done shit, but I did remember that I did something this weekend that was actually pretty cool. So I have a bunch of movies, DVDs, and books that I try to like track in a spreadsheet on a Google Drive or like take pictures of so that when I go to stores, I don't buy doubles. So I know what I have, right? So this system is very imperfect, obviously, and it's annoying. So months ago, I had found an app where you can scan the barcode and hopefully if it's in the system, it'll load. And so I went and did like a bunch of books and movies over the weekend and didn't do them all, but I made pretty good progress. And now if I go, to Half Price Books and I want to get something, I don't have to buy it twice because that has happened to me several times. So pretty cool organizational hack there and made me feel good and accomplished. So
I like it.
First of all, nerd.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Mr. Spreadsheet.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's definitely the pot.
Everything is
Yeah.
tracked in a Google spreadsheet. So in my life.
Yeah. No, I've had to do that with certain things. So yeah, I completely understand. No, that's really cool that you're doing that, trying to keep track of it. Because like you said, I very seldom will run into that specifically, but it does suck when you're like, crap, do I already own this? Like,
Yeah, because I buy a lot of stuff secondhand. So
Mhm.
when you do that, it's not online, where you can just run over and see what you got.
yeah.
You're in the store and you're like, shit, this is such a good deal, but do I have it already? So that's what I do.
Yes, you do.
On my list, your video froze, Jen, and it's not a very flattering picture of you.
Oh,
There it goes.
Dang it.
Damn it, I missed
Oh,
it.
darn.
You
You guys suck.
let's see here. So,
Close second. So I'll...
yeah.
Keep me doing this.
I had right. I had Baby Yoda. I was going to airbrush Baby Yoda.
Oh, did you clothe him? Is he still naked?
No, he has 3D printed clothes on. Yeah, so here he is.
No, I'm saying God.
But he's still gray. And
he's gray.
He's
Yeah.
still gray.
yeah, the airbrush did not get touched at all. I had lots of other little things come up. I'm trying to think of some of the I got several orders come in, and I was like just kind of fighting to try to get keep up with all of those. But yeah, I did not touch the airbrush at all because I have acquired a new tool that I am going to have to break out the airbrush for, and that is over here on behind my shoulder. You'll notice one of my normal 3D printers is missing because it's been replaced with a resin 3D printer. My wife got it for me for Christmas, along with the washing and curing station, and I have spent, ever since I've got it, I have spent this entire time like slowly but surely relearning how to 3D print things. And I was talking to Chris and Ray last night, and like I know I can look at a print and pretty much tell, oh, this is gonna fail, this is gonna work really well. Not with this resin printer. Like I'm having to relearn this. Like I told them, it's the equivalent of saying, oh, I know how to water ski. I should be able to snow ski, no problem. Nope, totally
So
different.
what's the difference?
Well, I watched a video and the way this guy was explaining it. So, like when you're doing a normal 3D print, you're fighting gravity in that gravity is holding the print down to the print bed. And then if you have something that is an overhang, you have to add support material to keep it from drooping or being printed out in midair. The way this resin printer works is it prints basically upside down. So gravity is fighting you in that it's trying to actively pull off of the build plate. So you're not adding support materials to prop it up. You're putting support materials on there to keep it attached. And it is a total different way of thinking about it. And like one of the other things is you really can't print things flat on the print bed. So for example, like I've got this thing. This is a print bed or a print job for a thing I'm working on for a customer. There's a large flat surface. I designed it that way so that when it prints flat, completely flat, and it slowly builds it from the bottom up. You can't do that with a resin print because whenever it prints, it literally dips the plate down into the resin and then it kind of pulls up and then it goes back down and it slowly keeps doing that up and down until it builds the item. And every time that it pulls up, it's pulling out of a liquid and it's causing a suction and it's literally trying to pull it off of the plate. So you can't really print things flat. It will cause it to literally come undone. And one of the other problems with it is if a FDM printer causes an issue, you just scrape it off the plate and you tell it redo it, or if you need to make some changes, and you tell it to go. I can't do that with this thing. I have to clean all the parts off with alcohol and let them dry. And then I have to get a paint strainer and I have to pour the resin that's in the vat into the resin bottle. And then I have to take it, and there's a very thin, it's a clear, thin film of plastic on the bottom of this. It's a particular type of plastic. And I have to take a plastic scraper and I have to very carefully scrape any of the resin that has gotten stuck to it off. And then I have to clean that off and get everything set back up. It takes probably a good hour to fix an issue.
Sounds a lot more complicated than the other
Yeah.
printers.
Oh, it is a lot.
So why would you do it?
Because the amount of detail I'm getting is insane. I showed y'all some of the pictures. Let me see here. I think I've got some of them here close. I can actually show. So like the lowest I can really go with I say old style with my old 3D printer is 0.1 millimeters. It will print at 0.1 millimeters height, and that's basically your detail. Let's see if I can find a little baggie over here. There it is. And so on this other printer, the maximum I can print is 0.05. So it's literally twice the resolution. And see if I can show. Oh, you know what? I probably should grab the same piece to demonstrate it. So like, I'm going to hold this up to the camera. It may or not be able to zoom in, but it's got fairly.
Whoa, look at that little.
Put your hand in front.
Put your hand behind it.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
There you go. Wow.
Okay. So that's the old printer, and you
Okay.
can clearly still see the lines on it.
Yep.
Still, though, that's pretty cool.
This is the new printer,
Wow.
and you cannot hardly see the lines at all. In fact, you can see the lines for the stone walkway. It is that freaking detailed. It's insane.
There you
go.
go.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that looks a lot cleaner.
So I'm actually in the process of reprinting all of these pieces, and you can buy different colored resins, but then once again, in order to change colors, whereas with this, the old style, it was just like, oh, I'll just put the new resin in, or put the new color in and fire it up, and it's good to go. And this one, I'd have to clean it out. So I've only gotten 2 colors so far. I've gotten gray and a clear, which I haven't played with yet. I have some specific ideas on what I want to do with that. But so I'm going to be painting or printing most of these in just a gray resin because it's a good way to look at detail. And then I'll have to paint them. And because of their size, I really need to use the airbrush for it because otherwise I don't want the paint to just kind of like gloop up. So I'll have to just do really light passes of it. And so that's going to be a future project. So I'm trying to make sure I'm also printing pieces so that we can do the Seafarers version. So I'm like, all right, I need to go ahead and print those pieces as well because when I put the blue in the airbrush, I want to get them all done at once. So
excited.
yeah, it's going to be fun.
How many people can you play with that version?
I am printing enough pieces so that we can play 10 players of the normal game and 6 players of the Seafarers game. Because it requires a lot of water pieces. These are all of the water pieces I've had, and this is not even all the ones, like it's all of these plus all of the ones out of the additional 4-player game that I printed. It is stupid the amount of stuff. It's going to take up my entire table's going to be eaten up. So I'm
10
hoping
people though is going to take so long to get through a game.
I've been thinking about that, and what's going to happen is we may have to have like 2 bankers, as it were, or at least everyone's going to have to be on the ball, and it may just have to be one of those things that's like, look, we're going to roll the die, whatever number comes up, we're going to try to make sure we catch them all. But if you miss out on resources because you were talking or not paying attention, tough shit, dude.
You need to know your numbers, yeah.
Yeah. So,
that's cool.
But
how did you paint the other ones? Did you painted them by hand, right?
The other one. Well, okay. So the pieces themselves, I painted by hand. Yeah, I painted those by hand. And actually, most of it is water tiles. Like it's pretty much just going to be water tiles. There's one additional tile that the Seafarers has that the normal game doesn't. It's a gold tile, and if that number comes up, you get to choose what resource you get. So very, very, very much sought after in the game. I'm actually going to be, and I've already talked to her about it. I'm actually going to be taking all of the tiles to be painted to my mom. And she's going to paint them for me because she's retired and doesn't have anything to do. So
there you go. Thanks, Mom.
Yep. She actually painted the last ones. My cat's trying to get in here. So, no, I don't need you in here right now. No.
But Dad.
So anyway, yeah, so I have been extremely busy. I've been like seriously trying to figure out how to do this printing stuff the best that I possibly can, before I start doing, these and I think I finally kind of got it down. So I'm in the process of slowly but surely starting to print these pieces, so I can do them for these games. Now that I have this resin printer, it has opened up some other opportunities. So, I have read about it for a while, and I just never really looked into it, but I've been looking into how to do 3D scans. And our friend Cyrus actually gave me a Xbox Connect, and just hooking up to a computer using certain software, you can actually do 3D scans. Well, I couldn't get it to work at first. I found out the programs I was trying to use just were not working. So I ended up looking at a version on the iPhone that I could use. And I found an app, and it seems to work okay. I've still got to do some messing with it. But my idea is that I can 3D scan people's heads and bodies, and I will be able to 3D print them. So like this, for example.
Yeah, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah.
So now you want to see creepy?
Wait.
Yeah. There you go.
You can see inside of my head now.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Inside out.
So like one of the first things I'm thinking about doing is I want to get a decent scan of my head, and I'm going to print it about this big, and I am going to go find a Ghostbuster action figure and pop the head off and pop mine on there, and I'll be an action figure, and it'll be freaking awesome.
Now I'm the nerd.
Yeah.
Is that what you said earlier?
Exactly.
I'm
but I
sent
also
you where you can buy it too.
yeah. Anyway, we so one of the other things I want to do is, as you know, the usual cast of characters that comes over to play board games, I do want to eventually scan everyone in, because like when we're playing Betrayal in the House on the Hill, how awesome would it be to play as you?
That'd be cool.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So yeah, we're gonna have to get this friggin' pandemic over so we can come down and get our head scanned too.
Yep.
No joke. So, well, the funny thing is do y'all have a Kinect?
Yes.
See, what I need to do is figure out how to do this stuff and whatever apps or whatever, and then you could feasibly just scan it and send me the file, and then I could print it and send it to you.
That'd be cool too.
So,
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Our old Xbox. Remember the thing that would.
Oh, it was like their version of the Wii.
So if you walked in, it would log you in.
That was
Yep.
pretty.
Yeah.
yeah, that thing. Yeah, exactly. And because it's got really good depth sensors on it. Actually, when I'm not using it for scanning that stuff in, I need to sit down. I had read online somewhere where you can use one. Windows 10 now allows you to use your face to log in to Windows, which kind of sucks because all of our teachers got brand new laptops that have cameras that will do it, but they can't. They either have to like put in their password still or pull down their mask for a second to log into their computer. Which of course, you know, I got a newer iPhone, and of course it does the facial recognition. And right now I'm really missing that home button. I used to be able to just put my thumb on and unlock it. So because my mask has a strap on the back of it, and it's not just so easy. You can't just like pull it down just to go, oh, open my phone. But yeah, so I've been working on that. I feel like I've just got so many different irons in the flame right now. I'm trying to focus on getting a few things like organized, finalized, however you want to put it. So, but yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. And like I'm looking here at my desk, and one of the things that Lainey got for Joseph, Joseph had originally this is his turtle communicator he had as a boy, and he had left the batteries in it, and the batteries had died. And I was going to try to take it apart and see if I could redo it, but unfortunately the board that was in it like kind of disintegrated, so I wasn't able to figure it out. Well, she ended up buying him one off of eBay, and even though the guy said that it was working, it is not. But the board in this thing is intact. So I'm going to I told him, I was like, I don't know when I'll get to it, but I will. I'm going to try to take it apart and redo the board so that I can fix his Christmas present, his turtle communicator. And of course he threw around on the idea. He's like, man, too bad you can't make it to where it actually like is a walkie-talkie. And I was like, well, if I scaled it up, I might be able to do that. Like buy some cheap walkie-talkies off of Amazon and like just gut them out and put them in this thing. So yeah, we'll see about that. What's really funny is the boys used to have the resolution on the screen was horrible, but they used to have these flip phone video walkie-talkies, and I don't know if they still have them, because that would be awesome, because I think the communicator in the cartoon, you could of course see video of whoever they were talking to, so that might be interesting. Anyway, but yeah, I just feel like I've got so many things in the flame right now, and I'm just trying to keep focused, kind of, sort of. So anyway,
Squirrel.
Yeah, no shit. I have come to realize after just a little bit of research, I am pretty sure I have at least a mild form of adult ADHD. Like, because I have noticed I will be working on a project and walk into the kitchen and get sidetracked with another project and then like come back in the day and I was just like, well, I never finished the other thing.
All the damn time.
Yep. So, yeah.
Isn't it fun when you start researching that stuff and you're like, oh, yeah, that explains a lot.
Yes, yes, it does.
Suddenly your whole childhood makes sense. You're like, yeah, probably would have had.
So, so that was something else that I was working on. So I had to get, I've been working on this project for a while, and I think I don't remember if I've completely talked about it on this show or not. So, I'm wanting to, I learned, PCB design, printed circuit board design, so that the next time I make a proton pack, I don't have to do all of the wiring. I can actually design a board and send it off and get it like printed up, and then I can just solder everything on there. It'll make my life 1,000 times easier. Well, in doing that, I thought, well, that's like a big project. I need something smaller to start on. So I wanted to do a quote unquote belt gizmo from Ghostbusters. So that's what I did. Well, whenever you order it, you basically get 5 of the boards. So I had already finished mine. I was racing to get Laney's done for Christmas. And then I had 3 other ones. Well, I've sold 2 of them. This one I'm still trying to sell. But I also screwed up and accidentally soldered the one chip. Like there's like 5 chips on this that do anything. The rest of them are all decorative. And the one chip I soldered on there upside down. And I was like, okay, I could just sell it for half price and just say this one doesn't work. You know, it just looks like it's the thing, but it doesn't actually do anything. But it drove me insane that the idea that I'm like, if I could just get this one damn chip off and move it around, it would be fine. So sure enough, I finally ended up getting it off there and resoldering on one there. So it does work. But I spent a good amount of time doing this. And I originally told the people, the guy who I originally offered it to, I was like, well, it's about $25 worth of parts, I think. So does $50 plus shipping sound okay? And he said, yeah, it's okay. And then I started making these things. And by the time I 3D printed the stuff and cut each one of these as a little piece of vinyl tubing, I had to cut to a specific length. I had to solder everything together. I had to glue everything together. I had to put the screws in the back. And then the actual holster itself is made out of 3 layers of 2-inch EVA or 2mm EVA foam. So I had to glue all that together. By the time I got all of this together, I was like, I would not sell this thing for anything less than $100 now. I'm still going to sell it for $50 because that's what I told you I was going to sell it to. But my God, never again. This was a one-time run. Even though he told me, he did message me and said, hey, I got it in the mail. You really need to think about selling these because I think you got something here. And I'm just like, no, it's too much work. I don't want to do it. So, yeah.
Hey, you've got 2 kids. Put them to work.
There you go.
Jeez.
Teach them young. You got 3 printers now. 4 printers.
All right,
3.
be careful with the hot end. Don't touch the soldering iron.
They got little fingers, you know. Like.
You sound like Homer with that time he was like, he had the lawnmower like up on the side, and he tells Bart, "Hey, reach in there and grab the thing." And of course, as he's doing it, it kicks it out and starts going again and goes, "Oh no, never mind."
It's a roller skate, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, now that I've regaled you with all the crap that's been going on, let's talk about it's 2021 now. What would you like to start working on for this year? I guess your goal for next month, but what's your plan for what you're going to work on next? Anyone want to go first?
I'll go.
All right, Chris, what is it you're shooting for say next month?
For next month, that I find a desk. That would be awesome. I would really like to have a desk. Yeah.
I know someone who can build one for you.
Well, I know. No. He doesn't have time for that. And he doesn't want to.
My shop is out of commission right now because it's cold.
Oh, poor
baby.
2 sawhorses and a piece of plywood, right?
I've done it, and it's not fun in the snow.
Hey, it was minus 45 in the States today. Heyo. Get it? 45. Trump, yeah.
Yep.
It's funny when you have to explain it.
Oh, that's like a dad joke.
So it was. What kind of desk are you looking for? Are you looking for like a writing desk or?
Well, see, that's the
something
thing.
Funky.
Not funky so much as it's got to be old, but workable, and it has to be able to fit into the room. I have to be able to get it down the stairs.
Funky.
Well, not funky because funky could be interpreted a lot of ways. I just want something that I can use that's usable, but I want it to be secondhand. I want it to be kind of old because I have this whole thing going on. I'm really liking antiques and collecting them. Most of the stuff in the house is an antique, and I really like it. And yeah, so I would really like a desk that's got drawers on one side. It's got a nice, decent workspace on top. I'm thinking about just having a work table on the other side, just to have my sewing machine on there. I have basic sewing machines, like sewing skills. I patched up one of Logan's pairs of jeans and did a job of it, but I did it.
Nicely done.
Minimal swearing. So
They make patches for that. That's why you put cute patches on it, right?
yeah, I didn't have any of those, and she kind of wanted to wear them that day. So, you do what you can. I try to remember what my sister does because she patches her boys' jeans constantly.
Mm-hmm.
It 50-50, her method, my method. Anyways, so and then I want a cabinet. I have a whole Pinterest board of stuff I want for what I want my office to look like. Yes, but I would really like a desk. But for 2021, so I've talked to you guys before about how I was having, what are you smiling about? What was that?
You're cute.
I second that.
Thank you.
I third it.
Go on. Go on. For 2021.
Keep going.
Oh, thank you.
Pinterest.
So Pinterest, yes. So for 2021, I've had a hard time trying to find a niche for my knitting shop. I was feeling like I'm getting lost sort of in the fray of crochet knitting Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't feeling inspired by what I was making. I was just sort of making it because it was quick and easy and I could do a lot at once and it wasn't too expensive. And I don't like it. I don't like what I've made. And that sucks. But it's a learning process and I did learn. So the other day while I was sitting in my office on the floor, on the ground, listening to Ready Player 2, I had sort of an idea that instead of trying so hard to find my niche and making something, basically reinventing the wheel. Mm-hmm. So that's where my mind goes. I immediately complicate crap. I say, shut up. just shush, because you do too. Anyways, I went back to what I actually like to make and what I really love to make. And I like to make blankets. I love making blankets. I'm making one right now for Logan. I finished one 2 weeks ago for our bedroom. I just really like doing it. I like knitting them. I like crocheting them. I like finding patterns for them. So with that in mind, and I don't want to do anything else right now. I'm like, I just want to make blankets. They're the easiest freaking thing, but they're so meditative. I like making big projects. And if it takes me a month to sell one, then it takes me a month, but I like doing it and it'll keep me going. And so with that, I thought, okay, what if I do nature themes? So I actually got inspired by a spam email that I got about watercolors of all things. This company makes these handmade watercolor palettes. Anyways, and they have different names for them and stuff. I'm like, oh, I could do that with blankets. So I'd have like a whole wildflower theme and use wildflower colors in them and like trees and forests and moss and rocks, and then I could have like a whole winter theme, an autumn theme, and just use those specific colors and color palettes and put them into blankets.
And then she's asking me about this on the phone. I'm like, you could do like a sunset.
Yes, nice. Yeah, and build it out. And he's like, I don't know if you could do that. I'm like, I could figure it out.
Yeah.
But yes, and I drew a little sketch and stuff. And then with that, I thought, okay, so blankets, what go well with blankets? Slippers. I love slippers. And turns out I can make them. So really? Slippers go with blankets. I was trying to think of things that are also cozy. So blankets, slippers. And then I was thinking scarves, because I also like to make scarves. And I really, really, really want to learn how to make a cardigan. Cardigans and blankets. Holy cow. So I felt like I was on something. What?
Do you do baby blankets? I would do smaller ones?
Yep. I would do baby blankets, lap blankets, big blankets, everything. Like, and I can do, and I have sort of something to my advantage in that I can knit and crochet. So I'm not kind of tied down to one or the other.
Yeah.
And I got so inspired. I took my journal, which is also made by a lovely maker.
Which we will, I got to do a shout out to him.
Yes, because he's awesome. Wade makes all of these by hand. And anyway, so I have it all. I made like a, not that, that's a journal entry. You don't need to read that. Where is it? I did like a whole thing, like a whole page. It was like fury writing, and I'm like, oh! And then I'm like, that's how I know I have my niche, because I felt inspired, and I'm excited, and I don't know what any of, like, how I'm gonna quite execute it just yet, or what I'm gonna start with, but I got really excited about it, so I figured I had something there if I got excited. So I wanted to run it by you guys, which is why I got so excited, because I thought yesterday we were doing the podcast, which is when I wrote all this down. I can talk to them about it and run it past them.
I was going to say, and I've heard multiple makers, specifically who do YouTube or podcast, and that's one of the things that keep coming back, and especially the ones who are on YouTube. They occasionally will bring it up. They're like, I always feel, they're like, I'm working on this, and I feel like, well, people are used to me doing woodworking on my channel, but I don't want to do woodworking right now. I want to do what I want to do. And they're always, caught between, it's kind of a rock and a hard place. It's like, this isn't, luckily most of them are smart enough that YouTube is not their only gig. Like it's how they make some money, but it's not how they make all of their money. And so most of them have always, they always seem to come back, and, the advice that they always give each other is make what you enjoy. And if you really like it, chances are other people will too. And that's how you're going to find your niche, and that's how you're going to find what you want to do. So for example, making the giant matrices, I've loved Transformers forever. And going through and having to do them, in batches kind of, sucks from time to time. Sometimes I'd rather be doing other stuff, but I love the Matrix. I've always loved it. I've loved the idea of it. I love the way it's shaped and everything. And so I've played around with the idea of doing it would technically be half size. It wouldn't be full size because my printer's not big enough to do that. But I've thought about designing a flux capacitor, and I've thought about working on one, which would be, like I said, technically be half size, but I've thought about doing one for probably a year now, maybe even more. And I was thinking about this just the other day. I was like, what is keeping me from sitting down and designing this thing? Because designing it's going to be the longest part, and then once I have the design down and I figure it out, I can do it. But I think it's because it's not necessarily something that I want. Now, I have a feeling I didn't necessarily want the full-size Matrix either, but then once I made one, I was like, oh no, this is cool. I really want one of these too. I have a feeling once I made one, I would probably be like, no, I really want this thing. But right now, it's just not high up on my priorities of things that I want. And I think that's why I keep pushing it off for all these other projects, because I know I would make a crap ton of money with it. I just know that for a fact. Even if I sold it for like $150, I could probably sell a ton of them. But it's just, I don't have the motivation to make one. And it's not like there's anyone else out there really in the market. Like I would basically capture that market and run off with it. I just don't have the motivation. And I keep thinking, well, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, maybe I need to go back and rewatch the movies. Maybe that would give me the motivation to get off my butt and do it. So
that's a good idea.
But so
I'm thinking of where I'd put it in my Beetle. I'd be buying one and put it in my Beetle somewhere.
Okay. So. I'd have to figure out some place to put it in my. That's another project coming up. I'll have to talk about that in a second. Anyway, just one after another. Anyway, but no, that's good on you. I'm glad you have inspiration for where you think you want to take your shop.
I think so. And I have one thing I've always wanted to do since becoming a massive Potterhead is I haven't successfully made a Weasley sweater yet, but the house scarves are really I could make those. But releasing like a little Harry Potter collection, just something little on September 1st. That's Harry Potter Day. And just doing that. I've wanted to do that for a while.
Yep.
And then I'm really surprisingly getting into Lord of the Rings. I'm on the 3rd book. And there's so much you can do with that too.
Yes.
And doing different, because the Ents are my favorite. And I'm like, oh, I could make Ent blankets. I don't even know what that would look like, but I want to. But yeah, so I was writing all that down and just being really furious with it, and I just got really excited, and it was like, okay, well then I think what I'm going to do is put everything that I have now in my Etsy shop on sale and just get rid of it, and sort of start from scratch and do that, because that's more motivating to me than try to sell something that's like $20. It's like, yeah, but I don't like this. I don't like this. Yeah, it's cute and it's trendy. It's popular, but I rarely jump on the popular bandwagon right away. I'm usually like a couple years behind. So right now it just feels forced with what I'm doing, and I'm just not creating things that I like and enjoy. So, and I reminded my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law's got a store, and she's a designer. And I remember early on, she said, if I bring something in, or if I'm designing something, she's like, even when she was a model, she's like, I had to find a way to love it, because if I couldn't, she had a hard time selling it. She had a hard time selling it.
Right.
So I just took that. I'm remembering that and being like, yeah, that's actually really good. A good way of looking at it. I have to love it, or I'm not gonna be motivated, right? I'm not gonna be motivated. I'm just gonna put it aside and find every other distraction and thing to put in front of it. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody want to agree 100%?
Anybody want a blanket? I'll make you one.
I want a Lord of the Rings inspired blanket.
Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I was like, the Ents, the wizards, you can do Gandalf the gray, the white, you can do Radagast the brown, you can do, and then the elves, and then the dwarves.
Of the elves, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, the Shire, which would all be granny squares.
Nice.
So yeah,
I'm happy for you. That's great. I'm glad you got some inspiration as to where you want to go with it. So
me too, because it was so frustrating and disheartening, and then you sort of start questioning why you're doing it in the first place. At least I do. I start wondering why I went down this rabbit hole, and was it a good idea, and all that kind of stuff, and sort of my confidence gets a little dinged. But this is sort of brought it back, and I have to remember that I'm versatile, because I can both knit and crochet. And YouTube has every tutorial on the planet if I get stuck.
And you have my cousin.
And his cousin is a professional knitter. She's amazing. So
she actually like sells her patterns and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
she designs.
Oh wow.
She's been knitting for like over 2 decades. Like, she's amazing. She's the one that's always in the corner with a project while you're visiting.
Yeah.
Always. She's always got her knitting everywhere with her. Yeah. Just always, constantly.
In the summer,
she's
making Bernie Sanders some mittens.
Yeah.
She could. She totally could.
Nice. Well, Chris, Ray, do you want to go next?
So yeah.
Don't work on, hun.
Gonna work more on that painting.
Yes.
And then just overall, like I've got other paintings that I want to get going on as well, that are going to be quicker than this one. This one's going to take a while. So just a couple of other watercolors that I want to do. And then what I do want to say, though, before we get too far into it, because I'm going to forget, if you are interested in leather work, go see DAHQ. So it stands for Dumbledore's Army Headquarters. And that guy, it's his Etsy shop.
Even if you don't like Harry Potter.
Even if you don't like Harry Potter.
It doesn't have to be Harry Potter themed.
He does amazing work. Made her journal.
This thing was, I think the journals themselves sell for
like 60.
No, I think this one is under that. I think it's like 40 or
Yeah.
$50 US, I think, for a
And
leather
it's
journal.
on sale till today. Today's the last day for the sales. They were like 30 American right now. But
Yeah.
anyway, so he is doing wallets as well, and I needed a new wallet. So anyway, so I'm excited. I'm going to get my new wallet. He also does the list of everybody that signed the DA list. So from the Harry Potter and all that stuff. And then you could add signatures as well. So we added the 4 of us. So our names are going to be on the DA list, which is going to be kind of cool. So
Nerd.
Oh yeah, total nerd, but I don't care. Like
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So excited about that. As a it's kind of cool to see other makers out there doing what they love, because he hasn't been doing it for very long and does amazing work.
Yeah.
So other than that, though, like for myself, I really want to get going on my guitar this year. That's my goal in 2021. I really want to actually start playing my guitar more and actually making some like just doing covers and songs and stuff like that. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I've got all the technology I need now to plug it into the computer, so it's this is my goal this year is actually get going on that and playing and having some fun with it. So
well, good deal.
Yeah.
Jen?
Yeah, I have nothing. Like I said earlier on the back channel, I'm not motivated lately to do much of anything. So I have a lot of shit I need to do, but currently I'm not working on anything. I'm not planning on it, because any plans I make, I just end up feeling guilty for not doing. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of been in a downer lately, so I'm just, not doing shit. Productive anyways.
Well, sometimes you need a break.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully after the events of today, things will start looking up a little more.
Yes.
Hopefully.
So, let's see. I don't know if I have grand plans necessarily like Chris does, but at least for next month, I'm going to at least try to get the majority, if not all of the little parts printed for the Catan board. I'm not going to swear to getting them painted, just because of everything else that's going on. Taxes are coming up. I'm going to have to start working on taxes. We have finally finalized the sale of my dad's house. So, by the way, banks are stupid, and like I love how they want to put rules on what you can do with your money. That's fantastic. So yeah, just dealing with stuff like that. The reason I thought about this, now that this money is coming in, there are some things that I want to take care of around the house. But also it now unlocks the ability for a large project I was going to work on. And I was thinking today, oh yeah, we have a new Ghostbusters movie coming out here in about 5 months. So anything that I need to get done before then, I need to start getting on the ball on. I don't think, just word in the community, it doesn't sound like there's probably going to be a big premiere like there was, for the 2016 one, just because, I'm even 5 months from now, I'm sure COVID's still going to be a major issue. So I'm not really planning for that, but hopefully the Austin group, we can at least do something at one of the local theaters and do something, So need to start getting my equipment up and running and ready and all that other stuff. But yeah, just trying to keep working on the 3D printing of the resin stuff so that I can get that prepped, so I can. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna be doing any shading or anything, but having some more time to play with the airbrush, and it may be one of those things that's like, I've got the green out, might as well go ahead and paint this little guy. The other problem I have with painting this little Grogu is, while the model looks great and I've prepped it and it's ready to go, I don't have the motivation to painting because the boys both got these animatronic versions and they're just really cool. And it was one thing when there wasn't any Baby Yoda merchandise, but now that it's everywhere, it's like, I'll get to you eventually.
Yeah.
So,
and you got to make that apple pack.
yeah, right. I've got to finish mine as it is. And then I'm so worried Lainey's going to turn around and be like, you know what? I've got the money now. I really need you to start working on my next one, because that's going to be a thing. Because I've got both of the boys have packs from Spirit of Halloween. In fact, I've got an extra one sitting over here over my shoulder, and I need to modify those to be better. And there's just a lot of stuff. So, it just kind of depends. Like I said, I'm hoping this year I will have, I'll get motivated and get on the ball with some of this stuff. I think part of my problem is I need to focus a little more and try to get a few projects done before, instead of trying to get like 5 different projects done at all once. Like, I know Jen says she suffers from FOMO, fear of missing out. I suffer from not a fear, but a feeling of, well, if I would get off my ass and go get the printer going, it could be printing this, which would further move along this project while I'm doing this other thing. And I think a lot of times it causes me I'm multitasking too much and I'm not getting as much stuff done. So I think I need to focus a little bit more and see if I can knock out some specific projects instead of trying to tackle everything at once. But we'll see. So, well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, hopefully you enjoy the new format of us mainly just kind of talking about the current projects that we've got going on and helping each other out. If you are listening to this show and would like to contribute and just talk about things that you're working on, or we'd love to hear from you. So you can go to the website. You can contact us at epicallygeekysite@gmail.com, or you can contact us through the Instagram or Facebook or Twitter page at epicallygeeky. You can also check out our other shows, the Epically Geeky Show, and the Marginally Geeky Show, Sustainably Geeky, procrastinators. We'll see if that keeps going. I think this in television Amico has got to come out before we'll see Sai again. It's interesting to see how tightly involved he's become in that project, which is really cool. So, but yeah, hopefully once that lands, we'll get Cyrus back and we maybe start doing some more of those shows. So, where can we find you online, Chris?
Here on Creatively Geeky and Marginally Geeky and Epically Geeky and Sustainably Geeky, and on Instagram at Rosen Hummingbird.
Ray?
Chasing Sean around.
Oh God.
Poor guy had a headache tonight, so he's not in.
Yeah.
The Reluctant Yeti on Instagram and Twitter. I try and stay away from Twitter, but although it's been a much nicer place than the last little while, so
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Jen, what about you?
You can find me here on Epically Geeky, Marginally Geeky, and Sustainably Geeky, which is the environmental podcast that Chris and I are on, and on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Het's Gonna Be Me.
And as always, you can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.